Hi, I'm back with another SQL question which is asked in a LinkedIn interview. It is of a difficulty level easy. We will try to analyze what exactly the expectation of the question and how we can proceed with the help of the query. I hope the question is now visible to your screen. You can just pause the video for a few seconds, try to understand the question, and then accordingly you can start. Okay. In the question, it is given that you have a candidate table in which you know the skill of that particular candidate. Each row is representing one skill for that particular candidate, and the skill can be of different type. But we have to find the candidate who is having a proficiency in Python, Tableau, and PostgreSQL. We have to write a query to list the candidate who possess all the required skill for the job, and we have to sort by the candidate ID in the ascending order. So the expectation is to only see the candidate ID, and we have to analyze that the skill needs to be in Python, Tableau, and Postgres. Now, if you just look at the table, you have a candidates table in which you have candidate ID and skill, and you can just look at the sample input data as well. Now, if you look for the candidate 1, 2, 3, you will see that you have Python, Tableau, and Postgres all three. So that is fine. But if you look for 2, 3, 4, you will understand that you have 3 rows. Basically, you have 3 skills for that individual, but none of them is matching with the one which we are required. So do we need that particular candidate? No. So the understanding from this particular example is that the skill needs to be 3, and also all of these 3 needs to match with the one which is listed in the question. And 3, 4, 5 is out because the first of all the skill is not 3, and also the skill is not matching. Like basically one skill is missing in that part, which is PostgreSQL. Now, in order to do this particular question further, first of all, you only have one table, so we will be required to only select the data from that particular table. So my table is candidates. Now, since there is 3 specific skills, so you have to make sure that the count of those skills is 3. Now, what we can do is, we can try to understand that if we have an individual candidate, you can see that how many times that is repeated in the data. Because that repetition of candidates will help you understanding that how many times the skills will be there, basically, because we know that one row is representing one skill. So if the candidate is coming thrice, there will be three skills in that sense. But the problem with that is that you will make sure that okay, the skills are 3, but you also need to check whether those 3 skills are the one which we required. So in that sense, you have to make sure that the filter is also there. So you can apply a where statement. You will say where my skill, which is a column, in certain value. What is that? That is Python, Postgres, and Tableau. So I will just listing that down here in this question, in this statement. So this will make sure that it is calculating the count as well as the skill is 3. So if you run, you will understand that there are candidate which is 1, 2, 3, which is having a count of 3. There is candidate 3, 4, 5, which is a count of 2. So 2 representing that yes, the candidate has 2 skills out of those 3 which you have listed. 3 represent that candidate has all the 3 skills which you have listed. Now the question is which particular candidate we are looking for. We are looking for 3 skills and exactly the one which is same. So in that sense, you will apply an having statement here, which will help you to filter the data out where the count of the rows is greater than equals to 3 in that sense, because it will make sure that you are only considering that data. Now the question is, do you need the count in that in the output? No, we only need the candidate ID, so we will just filter that out. Now, why we have used having for that? Because we know that whenever we are applying an aggregate function, we cannot directly just apply a where statement for that, because where is not applied to use in the aggregate function. So for that purpose, we are using having. Why we are saying greater than equals to? Because we can have more than 3 response as well. But since we have listing down that the skills are Python, Tableau, and Postgres, so it will be always 3. So greater than 3 is also not required in that sense. Now they are also saying that the candidate should be sorted in the order ID. No, in the candidate ID ascending order. So you can just do one thing, you can apply a sorting on your candidate ID and you will say it ascending. Right now there is only one candidate ID in the output, but what if the data will be like the query will be run on the large data set where you have multiple? So you have to make sure that if the question is explicitly saying that, you have to add that as well in the output. Let me just try to submit it and see if it is working. Yeah, so that's it about this particular question. I will see you in the next one.